Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you may have seen from previous videos, I own a Tellaro 20L. Now, while I have been greatly enjoying traveling to many destinations in my Tellaro, and I do like my Tellaro, which I pointed out the top 15 things I like about it in a previous video, there are some negative aspects about the Tellaro, and I have also detailed those top 15 in another video. Now, I know many of you are considering purchasing a Tellaro or have already purchased a Tellaro and are patiently awaiting the delivery date. If you've seen some of my previous videos, then you know there are quality issues. I wanted to let you know that it's best if these issues are discovered and addressed before you take possession of the RV. Because once you have completed the inspection and take possession of the RV, you will most likely have to make an appointment and wait a lengthy period of time to have any issues taken care of, and that can be quite a hassle. So in this video, I will outline some of the things that you should be doing during your inspection to help ensure that any issues are addressed before you take possession of your RV. Most likely when you arrive for your pre-delivery inspection, you will find that the dealership has your RV plugged in to one of their electrical outlets in the inspection area, and they have a hose connected to your city water inlet. This was the case for myself and is comparable to being connected to a full hookup service campsite. Therefore, we are going to start this process as if that is the case. Later on in the video, I will disconnect both the power and water and show you what to look for in this scenario. This would be comparable to boondocking. Let's turn on the propane tank. You simply press this switch and the red light goes on. Now let's head on inside to check our levels to make sure we have enough propane and water to do our testing. Now here in the RV, right to the left of the slider door, you have your main control panel, and it's called the BM Pro. If it's dark and the screen is not turned on, you just simply tap it and it lights up. So this is your home screen, and you see it's on the home screen because that icon on the left here is in orange. So you can see your tank levels here in your home screen. You also have a button for your lights, a button for your climate, a button for lights on, a button for lights off, a water pump button, and a climate button, which controls the AC. These three bigger buttons will bring you to the actual corresponding detailed screens when you touch them. And these smaller buttons on the right are actual functioning buttons that will directly turn things on and off. For example, if I press the lights on button, all the lights in the cabin's interior go on. And now if I press the lights off button, all the lights go off. Whereas if I press the large lights button, you see it takes me to a detailed light area where I can turn on and off individual lights. For example, I'll press this one and only the living room lights go on. I can turn it off. Bed ceiling, and only that one comes on. Now, getting back to checking the water levels, let's press the water droplet icon, and here you have a more detailed overview of what's going on in your tanks. So you can see that each one is now identified, and you can see how full they are. So you can see the first is water, and it's a third full. The second is your gray tank, and it's also a third full. And the third one is your black tank, and it's also a third full. On this screen, you will see the water pump button on the top, which you'll use when you're not connected to city water, and there's a heater button right beside it. Now, this is not your water heater button. It's a heater to prevent your water from freezing. We were unable to test that due to the fact that we are located in South Florida and it was not cold enough for us to test it. Now, to test the water, there are 5 areas to test. The first one is the kitchen sink. The second is the bathroom sink. The third is the shower, and you'd have to make sure you press this button so it pops up and then lift that lever for the water to come out. The fourth is the toilet, and the fifth would be a quick connect hose located in the back of the RV. So for the sink and the shower, you just run the water. The toilet, you'd flush it, and for the hose, you would just run the water outside. Another thing to check will be under the driver's side bench. You simply lift this panel here, and now you can look at all the different hose connections to make sure you do not see any leaking water, as well as the cabin water filter system and the drain. While we're here, I want to mention that you should also inspect these bed springs because they do come loose, as you can see. The third button on the screen will operate the awning. So let's go ahead and test it out. You simply push and hold the extend button for a couple of seconds, and then you can let go and it will automatically continue on its own. Okay, so it's fully extended. So now let's go ahead and retract the awning. Let's simply push and hold the retract button, and then you can let off and it will again continue on its own. Now, another way of extending and retracting the awning is by using these buttons on the bottom of the BMP Pro. So to use this method, you must push the arrow button first, and you have to make sure that the A1 appears. Then you can push extend, again hold down for a couple seconds and it'll start up, and then you just press retract for it to retract. One thing to note that the awning will not extend or retract while the engine is running. The next icon is the temperature. This is where you're going to test your AC. You simply press this big round button to turn the AC on, and there's these up and down buttons to adjust the temperature. When you turn it on, make sure the compressor comes on and the AC is actually cooling. I hope you can hear that mine has turned on. There are two other buttons on this screen. One is mode, and the other one is fan speed, low and high. The next icon is the light bulb, and here is where you can test each individual light. As I showed you previously, you can also access it from the top left button from your home screen, where I showed you can press that lights button. So now that we are back into the lights section where we can test each individual light, I will show you that. Let's look at the bed ceiling light. I have turned it off, turned it on, and they each have this little dimmer switch. So you can control the intensity of light. On the bottom of the BM Pro are these 4 light bulb buttons, and you push each one of these to make sure the corresponding light comes on and off. That was for the living room, kitchen, bath ceiling and a bed ceiling. Worth noting, the bathroom has a switch that you can control the light with. You can use this to turn the light on and off. There are 4 other lights that are not operated by the BM Pro. They are manual. They are little push button lights. So that's 1, 2, and you can adjust it to where you need the light. And 3rd, same on this side. And that's your 4th one. There is one other light switch that you need to test, and that button can only be accessed by opening the rear door. This button turns on the exterior light to help you connect your power and water if you arrive at a campsite at night. The next icon is a lightning bolt. On this screen, you see the voltage or health of your batteries and the level of your propane tank. You'll want to make sure these are full so we can test the systems when not plugged into an outlet. Also, on this screen, you have your generator start and stop button. This is something we will test once we disconnect from the outlet. The next icon is a fan. From this screen, you can turn on the bathroom as well as the kitchen fan. Now, the kitchen fan is important because you have to check to make sure the automated vent cover goes up and down, whereas the bathroom has a manual vent cover. So let's just go ahead and test the kitchen vent. The up arrow raises the vent. You should hear it opening and you should see it go up. Once it's up, you push the kitchen fan button. And then you turn the fan speed dial and you can change the speeds. So I will now close it. And turn it off. To test the bathroom fan, you need to open the vent manually. So you push this up, then you would head over to your BM Pro control screen and push the bathroom button. And now it is on. There's also a power button right here in the bathroom that you can use to turn the fan on and off. Now, this is the button most people use because it makes the most sense since it's located right here in the bathroom. And this button does work independently from the button on the BM Pro screen. There's also this red button up here that you push and it automatically shuts the fan off, and it's for emergency purposes. Now that we have tested everything with the BM Pro control panel, let's go ahead and test the appliances. So let's start off with the microwave. First off, make sure that the light appears on the digital display. Open up the doors and check for the interior light coming on. Next, let's pull this rack out and test the microwave. You can just test it for a couple of seconds. And it's running. So let's test the convection function. Let's press convect. Let's put in a temperature setting. And let's start that up. You only need a few seconds because it does heat up fairly quickly. You can stop it, open it up. And I do feel a little heat in there. You can run it a little longer if you like. Next is the refrigerator. To test this, make sure the light comes on when you open the door, and the setting is put at a cooling level such as 7. Then make sure the fridge is actually cooling. The refrigerator works on both AC and DC power. Next is the cooktop. To test the cooktop, you lift the cover, push the burner button and turn it to light, and then push the ignite button. As you can see, it has turned on. So I'll just turn it back off. Make sure you pull up on the cover so you do not break it, and put it back down. So you can also test the TV. Just push the power button on the remote and make sure the TV comes on. The TV is also connected to the inverter, so the TV can also be used when you're not connected to an outlet. Next, we are going to test the Truma system. Now, it is located in the cabinet above the TV. This system is responsible for heating your water and the interior of the RV. This system uses the propane. To test this system, start by pushing the black button in the center. When you do this, you will see a flashing camper van icon. This icon represents heating the camper van. The icon next to it is a thermometer in water. This icon represents the hot water tank. You turn the center knob to select whichever option you want. Whichever icon is flashing is the setting that it is on. To heat the cabin, make sure the camper van icon is flashing. Push the center black button and then select which temperature you would like the cabin to be at. And you would push the black button again to select that temperature. After a few minutes, you should feel heat coming out of the vents. To test the water heater, turn the black knob to the thermometer in the water icon and push the black button. Then select a boost. After 5 minutes, check to make sure you have hot water. Next, you can test the power outlets and USB ports. I recommend bringing a USB cord and the outlet adapter with you to test out the RV. So you can use these along with your cell phone to test out the electrical outlets and the USB ports. So there are 8 110 outlets and 4 USB ports. So this would be 1 outlet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th one is located on the side of the wardrobe, and the 8th one is located on the exterior of the camper van. Now for the USB ports, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that we have tested everything with the power connected, we need to disconnect both the electric power and the water and test out the systems that will allow us to boondock. Once everything has been disconnected, you need to switch the power switch to the on power position. Once you turn the switch to the on position, it'll take a few minutes for the BM Pro to boot up. But once it does, it'll automatically go to the home screen. And the BM Pro, now on the home screen, you can now utilize this BM Pro to control everything with the exception of the air conditioner, the microwave, and the awning. The 120 volt power outlets will not work either, however the USB outlets will work. In order to use the AC, microwave, 120 volt power outlets, and awning, you will need to start the generator as these systems require more power than the batteries and inverter can supply. To start the generator, click on the lightning bolt icon on the left of the screen and the power screen comes up. On the top of the screen, you'll find the button to start the generator. To start the generator, you must press and hold the start button until the generator starts. Once the generator starts, wait about a minute and the microwave will come on. I hope you heard that the generator did turn on. So now we are waiting on the microwave. There we go, the microwave has just turned on. So now once the microwave comes on, you can then start the AC. Let's go to the temperature control button, and as I've shown you before, you push on the big circle button. One thing to note that you should be careful of, never stop the generator without first shutting off the AC. To shut down the generator, you just push and hold the generator stop button. So let's first turn off the AC, go back to the lightning bolt, and push stop generator. It says stopping, and we have heard that it has shut off. To test the inverter, make sure the generator is off and no power is connected to the RV. Push the button on the inverter, and a green light should appear. Once the green light is on, the electrical outlet located above the TV will be functional. This outlet has the TV plugged into one, so you can test both the inverter and the outlet by turning on the TV. And there you go. As mentioned earlier, the USB outlets will work with or without the generator on. You can test these outlets as before using your iPhone and USB cord. Now let's test the water pump. On the BM Pro, push on the water droplet icon. On the top of the screen, there's a button for the water pump. This should only be turned on when the RV is not connected to city water and the onboard water tank has water in it. So let's go ahead and push it. Once you turn on the water pump, you should hear the pump pressurize the pipes, which would be a series of clicking noises. These noises will stop once the system has been pressurized. If these noises continue, you may have a water leak or a faucet may be on. Now you can test the different water systems as I have shown you before to ensure the water is flowing to them. Every time you use the water, you should hear the pump. There's also a separate power switch for the water pump next to the quick disconnect hose in the back of the van. This is here in case you need to rinse off and do not want to track dirt inside the van. Simply press this switch. This van also has a solar charging system. This system is meant to keep your RV batteries charged as long as there is sun. You can easily see if the system is working by looking at the control panel. You will see that it is charging. The wine guard also works on battery power, and you can really only test the system once you have set up the system and added a cellular plan. So I hope you found this video useful, and I hope your inspection process goes well. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Bye!